Do we have another Moonlight here? Well, find out. Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie If Beale Street Could Talk. Yes, If Beale Street Could Talk stars Kiki Layne, Stephen James, Regina King, and also has small performances of Diego Luna, Pedro Pascal, and Dave Franco. And this movie is written and directed by Barry Jenkins, the guy who gave us the movie Moonlight, the Best Picture winner of 2016 and stuff. And this movie, If Beale Street Could Talk, is a very moving and pretty much timeless romance story based off a novel that, again, I have not read. And the story of this movie is about this girl. Her name is Tish, and she falls in love with this boy. His nickname is Fonny. I'm pretty sure this is his nickname. And basically, it's this relationship that they have in 1970s Harlem and stuff. However, though, this relationship is really challenged when the guy, Fonny, ends up going to prison for a crime he did not commit because, you know, racial justice and everything. And, yeah, it's basically about these two and the challenges they have to face about someone going to prison for a crime they did not commit and how to right this wrong and stuff. And this movie's all about romance, a love, passion, and also a racial biased time period and stuff, because this is 1970s Harlem and everything. A time period where there was a lot of racism, especially a lot of racist cops during this time period. And yes, this is a new Barry Jenkins movie, so I was very excited for this movie because I'm a huge, I love Barry Jenkins. I loved Moonlight, and I love that he's directed a lot of episodes of the show Dear White People, a show that I really enjoy, and this looked like a really interesting, fascinating film, and honestly, it was. It was a really great film, If Beale Street Could Talk. The funniest thing is about this movie, I have almost the opposite effect for this movie when it comes to Moonlight. Moonlight, I thought, was a terrific, terrific film. But it was a one and done for me because it was just so bleak and depressing and stuff, and I just couldn't relate to the main character. I loved Moonlight, and I thought it was a terrific film, and I'm glad it won Best Picture. I never found it a watchable film. It didn't have that watchability factor. I've seen the movie once, and I don't really plan on seeing it again in the near future because I just don't find it has the watchability factor. If Beale Street Could Talk is the opposite. I actually can definitely see myself watching this movie again in the future, and it does have that watchability factor, but the sad thing is it's not as good and as well made as Moonlight is. I think Moonlight's a better film with a better story, with just better everything than this movie, but this movie I could definitely see myself watching again in the future. If Beale Street Could Talk, it relies on a lot of things like Barry Jenkins films is great cinematography, fantastic execution, and wonderful performances by the cast. The best thing about this movie is the cinematography. The cinematography is just beautiful. The shot composition and color coding is absolutely beautiful. How they did the color palettes to match certain tones and certain character traits is absolutely fantastic. It is so beautifully done, and yeah, I can't help but admire the cinematography, and it will definitely get nominated for Best Cinematography when it comes to Oscar season, and it's just beautifully shot. The screenplay is also really well written, and it's a very well directed film. This is Barry Jenkins we're talking here, so Barry Jenkins knows how to direct a film, and it is a very well structured film, and it is done very, very, very well. And the performances, like, this is a Barry Jenkins movie. You're not going to get bad quality acting. You're going to get some fucking great performances. And the performances by these actors, especially the two leads of Kiki Layne and Stephen James, they are really good in this movie. These two have excellent, excellent chemistry in this film, and I really got into this love story and into this romance, and I was rooting for them. I was rooting for this couple throughout the whole film, and I wanted to see justice, and I wanted to see them have a happy ending at the end of the story, and no way I would dare spoil it, but I was rooting for this couple, and I loved this couple, and I loved these two performances, and they both gave very strong performances. The show stealer was Regina King. Regina King is so good in this movie. I love her character, and I love her performance, and I better see an Oscar nomination for supporting actress. She is so good in this movie. I at least thought Regina King, just like Regina Hall, is very underrated, and I know they can give such great quality acting to a film. Just they gotta be in the right movie. And just like Regina Hall this year. She did what's that movie? Oh my god, I forget it. The movie about the women at work and stuff when she runs the pub. I forget that title. Yeah, Regina Hall's in that movie. She was so good in that movie, and yeah, I loved that movie, and like that's the kind of role she needs to do. Just like Regina King for this movie, this is the kind of roles she is so good at, and she gives some truly moving performances in this film. Like she is just so good, and I think she'll get nominated for supporting actress. She is so fucking fantastic, and even some of the small performances are all really good in this movie, and I thought this was almost a work of art put on the screen for this film, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I thought it was a very well-made film, and it is very emotional. It tugs on the heartstrings, and there is some scenes that are very hard to watch, and yeah, just because of so much racism that is in this film, you almost get angry because you're like, this is the world that we live, that we used to live in and stuff, but hey, it's still sort of relevant because there's still a lot of racism now, but back in the 70s, it was so bad and disgusting, you're just like, fuck those people and shit. And the movie really does show that, and it's done very, very well. And yeah, I thought this movie was really riveting and very compelling and very heart-wrenching at times, and it was super well done. My negatives, though, is like how much I admire the shot composition and the phenomenal cinematography, and it's so good. My nitpicks, I guess, is that they do a lot of repetitive shots in this film, and it almost becomes super tedious. They like almost use the same shots over again in the film, and they're beautiful shots, but they just use it again and again and again and again, and they use the same color palettes again and again and again. They're like, it was beautiful the first time, but they think it's going to be beautiful the fifth and sixth time, which I didn't like that. Like, repeating a shot over again is just not needed, and just becomes tedious, and I didn't like that. And the film does it a few times, and I did not like that. And also, I didn't care much for the ending of the film. Again, I won't spoil it, but I was expecting the ending to go in a different way, and it ended up going this way, and I was like, it's fine, but I personally wanted to end a different way, and I don't know, I thought it could have ended a little stronger and a little better and stuff. So those were my gripes with this film, and honestly, it does drag the film down a bit, but I still think all in all, If Beale Street Could Talk is a fantastic film, and people definitely need to see it, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you're a Barry Jenkins fan. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give If Beale Street Could Talk an 8.7 out of 10. This is a damn great film, and definitely check it out. So yeah, that was my review for the movie If Beale Street Could Talk. So in the comment section below, please tell me if you've seen this movie. Do you think it's better or worse than Moonlight? I think it's a weaker film than Moonlight, but I could definitely see myself watching it more than Moonlight. Just my opinion. But yeah, what are your thoughts and opinions? And if you haven't seen it yet, are you excited to see it? Give your thoughts and opinions. Comment below. Let me know. And as always for this video, please like, subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.